Right, Renault Scenic, kind of basically part two. Putting the dash back in. When you take the dash out, you don't need to take the steering wheel off. And when you put the dash back in, you don't need to take the steering wheel off, but you do need a second person. I don't know about say you need the second person, but the second person is definitely a help, without a doubt. And it's a better job when there's two of you. There's infill, isn't there? Like, you could be doing bolts and you say, do me a favour, pass me the 10mm socket, and the socket's already there for you to continue. You're on your back underneath and you just reach out and someone hands you the 10mm socket, yeah, rather than you actually having to get out, get up, walk round to the back of your van and get the 10mm socket. So there's a difference, yeah. It's definitely a more favourable job with two of you. But I took the dash out on my own and putting it back in. They had someone to help me, and basically all you have to do is make sure that the steering is pulled back and down as far as it can go, because you've got a bar under here, yeah. And then when you're bringing it in, you bring it in out the passenger doorway and in the passenger doorway, right? But as you're bringing it in, you need to just make sure that you got that stalk down and back like that, yeah. That one there, not so much, but still they do get caught by that, right? They do. There is definitely a moment where it catches, and so you have to make sure it's down like that, and that's why two people preferred. This, when you're putting this back, you need to make sure that the vents are clicked into the front panel before you put it in place. You don't put the vents in the hole and then put the fascia on top, because when you put the fascia on top, all the little clickers that are supposed to click to this front of this vent end up pushing the vent further down, and then when the fascia's in, this vent is that far away from the back side of the fascia. So fascia and vent click together first and then in. You need to obviously make sure that the wiring, the one wire that we found, or two wires we found that were dangling down that shouldn't have been. One, we hadn't connected the start-stop button, and two, the second wire was for the hazards, and so that needed to be fed through. Don't make the mistake of putting the dash back without putting that ducting. That ducting's loose, and we put it back in the dash and realised that the ducting wasn't in. But you can squeeze the ducting in the middle, and you can bend it to fit it up into place, and there's a bit of messing about, but there you go, and then you can get it in. But at the end of the day, you've got to deform it and then reform it up there. It'd be better just to put it in there in the first place. When you take this out, you want to have a piece of paper and a pen, and you want to write down the notable things that you need to do when you put it back together. When you're putting the dash in, I found, I didn't try it to the two ways, but I found that I like the idea of removing the screw there. Right, totally. So it's not in there at the moment, that screw, and it may not be going back in there, because look, there ain't no movement of this dash, right? There ain't no movement of it. So the customer has said if it's such a grief, it is a grief, then leave it out, and if it does rattle, we'll do it later afterwards. And that's what we're going to do, not putting that screw back in, because there's so many other screws holding this dash down that one screw just seems ridiculous. But why would they have done that? One screw and in the most weirdest of places. And that's about it, really. Stage 2 video will be coming.